right. Good morning, everyone. My name's David Grindstaff, and I'm here with Lynn Austin, the county manager, and I'm here with April Riddle, who is with the North Carolina Department of Insurance. And what we're doing here is kind of give you some information that can help deal with this flood that we've had here in Yancey County. And this information, can't stress it enough. You need to kind of keep up with everything that you're doing or the damage that you've had, take pictures, because as we found out here in our meeting earlier this week, we do not have anything in place to reimburse you for things such as culverts and driveways and things like that, but the state should have a surplus pot of money. So what we've been encouraged to advise everyone to do is there's nothing wrong with you going ahead and fixing everything that you're doing, such as your culverts, your driveway, the gravel, whatever you may be doing, but keep time and keep receipts so that when they open that pot of money up, as they did in years past, then you can go ahead and we'll have a link for you to go ahead and make application for that here with the county so that we can help get your reimbursement back. So anyway, like I said, I'm here with Lynn and here with April, and we're just going to kind of do a Q&A so that you can have this information and you can refer back to it in the videos.
We have a phone line. I know everybody doesn't have email access. That phone number is 828-682-1885, and that's our local office down here at our emergency management, and we'll keep all that information. And like I said, when the assessors get out here and get to assessing the damage, they'll know where to go and where to see you or how to contact you. Let's see.
Now, I think now in the beginning too, when you talk about the assessor's lien coming out, and I understand that April's going to try to get us some help in here to assess this situation, because the county inspectors, they have to come out, and so we're going to have some assistance with that, because, again, the county is growing with the construction things going on, so we're going to have some assistance here from a group that April Riddle has, that will come in and assist in the assessment of the damage that's taken place. So, if you have someone show up at your house and it's, they got the badge or the ID of the Yancey County Inspections Office, then you'll also have someone with them that will be from the North Carolina Insurance Commission.
Yes. That
will be doing the assessment, and that's what they're there for, is to come in and assess your situation. And you may say, hey, I didn't have much damage, I just got to mop out my basement. And as April said that she'd seen in Haywood County, some folks said, oh, I just got to clean my basement out, and come to find out the entire foundation of the house was damaged. So, we just want to make sure that we get all this information from you and get all the information from the individuals that's had damage. Again, telling you to go ahead and do what you need to be doing. We're just trying to get this thing in place so that we can get you reimbursed back from the state and get things taken care of, okay?
So guys, we've got to get to a certain limit of damage before our relief will kick in. So if you say, well, I went ahead and I got our basement cleaned up, or I got our driveway put back and all that good stuff, still go ahead and turn it in. You never know if you'll ever get reimbursed. I'm not saying you will, but I'm not saying you won't. If we don't reach that magic number to declare us a disaster area, we will not be getting those funded. So if you don't do it for yourself, if you said, hey, I've got it taken care of, I've got it put back together, go ahead and submit it for your neighbor, because we need to reach that funding amount so maybe we can help someone else in the county here. So go ahead and turn all that in, please. April, tell us a little bit about the individuals, the need to turn this in, and flood insurance and all that good stuff that is good to look forward to.
It's very important that you do turn your damages in, because as Lynn mentioned, there's a threshold that you have to meet in order to receive funding. And And I believe that threshold is 25 homes or businesses with severe to moderate damage. And so what you may think is not that much and that you've already taken care of could very well meet that threshold, help the county meet the threshold, and be able to release funds for other people. As some people are finding out right now, your homeowner's policy does not cover flooding. You have to have a flood policy. And currently the only flood policy that's available here in North Carolina is through the federal flood insurance policy. And you can go to floodsmart.gov and they will have all the information there. It is extremely important that you add that, because nothing on your property is covered unless you have that policy. As we were talking the other day, your tractor, any equipment that you might have on your property, it's not covered. And as far as your vehicles go, just your vehicle policy, if you don't carry comprehensive coverage, it's not covered against flooding either. So it is extremely important that people do buy flood insurance. I know it's something it's an expense you think you won't need, you think it doesn't flood where you live. Well, what we tell people is that if it rains where you live, you need flood insurance.
Especially if you live by the river, right?
Especially if you live by a body of
Or
water.
in a floodway.
In a flood zone, you need it. Something that we have been finding out is that mortgage companies are increasingly requiring people to carry flood insurance if they live anywhere near a body of water. And I know that that's something that's not something people want to pay for, but when you need it, you're sure glad that you have it.
Sure. So we talked a little bit about track codes, people that has commercial businesses and that kind of thing that does excavating or any kind of heavy equipment. If you don't have flood insurance,
You've got to have it.
Right.
You've got to have flood insurance. Even renters policies. A lot of people won't, if they rent a place, they think that they can't have any coverage. You can. There are renters policies and they're very affordable. I've heard of some people, they add it on to their auto policy and it's as cheap as $6 a month to cover their belongings in a rented property. And you can have a flood coverage on that. If you are a business owner and you rent the location where your business is, you can have a renter's policy and you can have flood coverage for that. So there are many ways to do it, and it is important to have it. And something else that we have been seeing, people aren't aware of what their policy covers. Those are something, you need to have those policies together, you need to go over them. If there's something you don't understand, you need to go to your agent and have them explain it to you. You can also reach out to the Department of Insurance and we'll be happy to go over it with you. And as far as replacing belongings, some things obviously can't be replaced, but something that people need to do before any weather event, you just need to do it and have it on hand. You need an inventory of what you have. And it's as simple as going through and taking pictures on your cell phone, because in most instances, you're gonna have your cell phone with you. You're gonna have those pictures. If you take pictures and write down an inventory, it might be something that gets lost or gets destroyed, but typically you'll have your cell phone. So you just go through and take pictures of what's in your home or business, and then that way you'll have them, and you can refer, and you can have proof of what you have. As far as damages, people need to take pictures of everything that they're doing. And so many people, I know people personally who their driveways are washed out, or having to park at the bottom of the hill and walk in and out until they can to get somebody to fix it or fix it themselves. Take pictures of that. That's something that should be reported to the county, because that all adds in to the possibility of having funds released for the county.
right.
And as April's mentioned here, I'm assuming that the cap you're talking about as far as funds into the county, that will be from the state level then going into the federal level.
Yes,
right?
that's the way those funds are released. What happens is, after a disaster, a declaration has to be made from the governor, and we have that. We have a disaster declaration. Then assessments have to be made. County assessors, and then in North Carolina, the Office of the State Fire Marshal is part of the North Carolina Department of Insurance, and we set building code. So we have building inspectors who can come out and assist. We have some in Haywood County right now, and we can also send some here. And those people will go out and they give an estimate on the damages to your home. And we're just there to assist, just to make the process go a little smoother and make it a little faster. Because no county has enough building inspectors to go around and do something like this in an emergency. So once those assessments are done, then that dollar figure, and it's as close as they can get, that dollar figure goes back and they send that on up to the federal level, has to be signed by the president, and that releases funds, that releases FEMA funds.
So when you're saying that they can estimate the damage if they come out, but if you've got pictures of the damage that you had, I'm assuming they can estimate in those pictures as well.
They need to look at it.
Yeah, they need to look at
They're
it.
gonna wanna look at it, and so if you do start to see people come by, you know, we don't tend to like people just showing up at our house, but if you do tend to see people coming, our folks would have, excuse me, an Office of the State Fire Marshal badge, insignia on their shirt, they would be clearly recognizable. Which brings up something that happens after every disaster, fraud. We have people who will come out, down east after hurricanes, they come out for roof damage. I saw somebody advertising to come out after there was a hailstorm in Buncombe County a couple weeks ago. They will come out and inspect your roof, because they will give you a new roof. And at no cost to you, of course. Be aware of those people. People will, they will try to scam, they'll put up ads, or they'll just start calling, did you have water in your home? Let us come and inspect your foundation or inspect your basement. Be wary, and if you have any concerns, you can call the North Carolina Department of Insurance. We have a fraud control group, that's what they do. They go get those people and prosecute them for defrauding folks.
Right.
Now,
So-
just to say, you know, what's happened thus far, if you're up 197 in Pensacola and Lynn has reached out, I think his name's Tim.
Yes, Tim Anderson.
Tim Anderson.
From DOT.
Yep, from DOT.
Very responsive to us.
And I think right now they're in the process of completing a low water bridge.
Yes.
There to go from the Pensacola side into Barnersville. So, you know, again, we wanna be ahead of this thing, for the citizens of Yancey County and for the county. I mean, we know we've got some park damage and campground damage and things like that, but the most relevant thing is the damage that you citizens as individuals has had. So if you can just, again, work with us and get us that information, those numbers, those hours, whatever you've had to spend and do, just keep it on paper. I mean, you know, you don't have to have a receipt for based how many hours you worked on. Just say, hey, I started at 6 a.m. and I got done at 3 o'clock, and I've done that 6 days a week. So that we have some kind of idea of what your cost has been thus far involvement in. Now, again, as April said, there's gonna be damage that you're gonna think that, oh, I didn't have anything damaged. But as it dries up and things like that, you're gonna see some damage that you may not have been aware of in the beginning. So, you know, just kind of get out, inspect your garages, inspect your buildings, things like that, and just check everything, and check your neighbor out. You know, this is a time when, you know, neighbors should be neighbors. So,
But guys, nothing's too big, nothing's too small. Just be sure and get that in. And if you don't do it for yourself, do it for your neighbors around you, that your damage may help push us over into that threshold that we need to be at to get these folks some help, including yourself, hopefully. But I know a lot of folks is saying, you know, I don't need it, but maybe I should turn it in for my neighbor. Exactly, turn it in for somebody else that maybe can't afford to fix their driveway. Just want to put those, and also don't want to speak for DOT, but DOT, in my understanding, has an emergency contract that's going out to get that bridge repaired instead of using that low water bridge all the time. We're thankful that they've got us the low water bridge access. That way we're not having to depend on another county to provide some EMS services and maybe even fire services and stuff for us, where we wasn't able to get equipment across the bridge. So DOT has trying to get that emergency contract in place to where we can get that bridge fixed as soon as possible. So just hang on, it's coming. I know it's frustrating, but just hang on there with us and report every bit of damage you have, guys. And call us, you know, call this number, that's 682-1885, and turn in all of your pictures and all that receipts and everything to us through the website, or you can even mail it here to our office and we'll get it to Jeff Howe, our emergency management coordinator. And our address is 110 Town Square, room 11, Burnsville, NC, of course, 28714. But hang on, guys, help's a coming. Hopefully, Just gotta get all our assessments done and see where we land on our figure. But go ahead and get the building inspectors to come out and look at your house if you think it's structurally damaged. But go through that number to do it, that 682-1885. And we'll also have the Department of Insurance, they're teaming up with us, and we're gracious for that. They're very gracious for doing that, because we have 2 building inspectors in the county. And with all the new building and new construction that continues every day, it's hard to get ahead enough on those sometimes to go back and do the disaster stuff that's extra burden. So we thank you guys for that.
Absolutely, that's why we're here. People can also reach out to the North Carolina Department of Insurance. We have a toll-free number. It's 1-855-408-1212. And there's assistance there as far as your policies, and we'll be happy to go over those with you if you just call.
So we're here to help, guys. Don't hesitate to call.
All right, I think that's pretty much covered everything. And again, like I say, Lynn's give a phone number there. If you have any questions whatsoever, please reach out to that number there. And I think that's the emergency management number here in the county.
It's a number we set up just directly for this disaster.
Just for this disaster here.
Had some extra numbers like that during this COVID, you know, but this number is just for this disaster, for this tropical storm Fred. So,
and again, anyone that's coming out there to your house, they're gonna have, you know, the protection and the mask and all that type of stuff, so that you don't have to be fearful for them coming, you know. And they all do the social distance as they should be, but, you know, if they show up, someone's called them, whether it be you or your family or your friends or your neighbors. Just work with them and let's see if we can't get this place put back together the way it should be. And, you know, if you, like I say, if you have any questions whatsoever, please just call that number. All right, and I think that's it.
Thanks, guys.